And yep, this is Brother Ray. I see you up there. You're watching me. I'm right here. And let's go to, hey, where am I? What channel is this? This is, let's go ahead to the computer and show you. Yes, this is CCTV, Cambridge Community Television, with 1 o'clock, brotherra.com, in your face, and yeah. Okay, so we're going to the Facebook website, bring that up, and let's put in my password if I can remember what it is, because I have to keep changing my password so often, because people be jumping on my stuff, but yeah, so let's get this set up and we will discuss that. That was Democracy Now, and isn't that interesting, that Democracy Now nonsense? They keep talking, what was that? Something about some millionaires or billionaires are not paying taxes because they have accounts in Bermuda. And I'm getting busted by the MBTA for not paying a fare. I'm like, wait a minute, you have billionaires not paying their state and federal taxes with all that money they make and all their profits, and yet you're gonna beat me up for $2.50. America! Yes, we love America. And actually, I run my mouth enough. Let's do this on the show. Ooh, let's see if let's get in here and get in tight. Yeah, let's see if we can show, this is the sober, not inebriated, not, actually, let me say this too, before I go on the air and do this. Some of my doctors, they say, oh, you know, marijuana is not that bad because it's an herb, and if you get the right kind and it's clean and it's, you know, it can help, especially me with seizures. And, you know, I don't think I've seized on air, but I've seized close to it. And I think y'all saw me a few weeks after having a seizure. I think it was, 3 or 4 weeks ago? I had a seizure, landed on my face, but saved my teeth. You see, lost a tooth, 2 different seizures. That's when I was riding my bike and fell on my face. And one of my doctors says, no, RA, you shouldn't do that marijuana stuff because it's bad for your lungs. And I'm saying, you know, other doctors say, well, if the inhalation is bad for your health, then let me do the liquid form. And I haven't been able to get access to the liquid form as of yet, where I could just put it under my tongue and have the same impact. But let me just share some of the clarity that I feel when I this is a water pipe. There's water down in here, and the herb goes in there, and I only take one hit, and I mean, it's my life, and oh, that's another thing. Death is running rampant, huh? They talk about billionaires not paying their taxes, and these are the people that rule and control the world, but the average ordinary person, they're doing this drug and that drug, and how is the media, what you watch on ABC, NBC, CBS, how is the media impacting the mind control, telling a person you can't when you say you can't? Certain people will take that as an opportunity to say, well, I'm going to anyhow. So, you heard the first 6 minutes, not on the ganja. Now, let's see how I behave and how my conversation flows with the gears of my mind churning as I live under this guise of white genetic survival or white supremacy. White supremacy defined as white genetic survival, which means black genetic annihilation. And last week's show, I dealt with certain things. Actually, why don't I bring that up now? Let's go to Facebook, and if the computer will behave appropriately for a brother, I can get to where I need to be on my Facebook page. And I had to give time to Democracy Now! Talking about the billionaires and how they don't pay their taxes. I mean, yeah, that's rather interesting how if you have a lot of money, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. Well, here we go. Let's cut to Facebook. This is a 1,500-year-old angel oak tree in South Carolina. Actually, do I wish to start before that? I don't feel like playing. Here, let's hear what she's got to say real quick.
Like it is. Black people, you better get controversial. You better be controversial. You had better call it like it is. When you identify young people in the community who are speaking up, when you identify some of these young people in Black Lives Matter who are saying what needs to be said, then go get them and say, I see what you're saying. I see what you're doing. I think you're going to make a good elected official. Let's work with people who have the passion and who want to do it and who understand how important it is. There are plenty of them in our communities, but guess what? We don't associate with them because we think they're too controversial. We've been shut down because others have defined us. When they said to us about 10, 15 years ago, oh, she's playing the race card, you should say, yeah, and I got a lot more I'm going to play. Don't run away from it. And that's what happened. We stopped calling a racist because they said that that's all you do. You don't do anything else. Don't let these people intimidate or scare you. You gotta get in the fight. It is time to take off the handcuffs. It's time to get in it. It's time to call it like it is. Don't come here and tell me, Maxine, you keep on doing what you do. Maxine gonna keep on doing what you do, but when you gonna give me some support? How many of you in your organizations have said impeach 45? Well, they don't have what it takes. They don't have the laws yet. Impeachment is about whatever the Congress says it is. There is no law that dictates impeachment. What the Constitution says is high crimes and misdemeanors, and we define that. Bill Clinton got impeached because he lied. Here you have a president who I can tell you and guarantee you is in collusion with the Russians to undermine our democracy. Here you have a president who has obstructed justice. And here you have a president that lies every day. Thank God that the special counsel is beginning to connect the dots and understand Facebook's role in it, social media's role in it. When is the black community gonna say, yeah, impeach him? It's time to go after him. I don't hear you. Don't another person come up to me and say, you go, girl. No, you go.
What did it say in the Congress or in the Constitution about the laws? And it comes down through the judges as to what to uphold. So there is no definition of what's right and wrong. Not even in the Constitution, the foundation of this motherfucking country that talks all this bullshit. My chi lady, I didn't think about that. I forgot if that was on my page, on my Facebook page. I just wanted to begin with the 1,500-year-old tree and talk about how we, as melanin dominant people, society or mindset didn't begin for the melanin recessive inbred mutant albino with a calcified pineal gland. That motherfucking civilization didn't start till the 1600s. 1600s, wait a minute, this is 2017. So 20 to 16, oh, that's 400 years. Did I just not talk about a 1,500-year-old tree? So, what about melanin dominance? As the black woman Maxine was making the statements, don't you say you go girl, you go boy? What the hell are you doing? Last week I talked about do something. What are you doing? The responsibility falls on you. That was the primary foundation for today's show and my thought process. After last week talking about Jim Granger and Master Heeds Robinson, along with Susan Fleshman, who gave us the venue for me to be able to vent, talking about how Jim Granger changed the direction of my life with a black man's Bible, and I'm with the 70-year-old black man, Master Heeds Robinson, helping me to go deeper within who I am, practicing Tai Chi. So as I go deeper into me, I was putting this all in last week's show. Now, if I have this self-esteem and self-confidence, where's yours? Can you, as a black motherfucker, as a black person, as a human black motherfucking being, after 400 years of psychological mind fuckery, can you, black motherfucker, look in the mirror and see your divine energy self? Can you overcome the psychological enslavement torture that we have endured? Do you have it within you? Do you have enough balls? Do you have enough spirit? Do you have enough within your own psyche to say, hey, I don't have to participate in this bullshit? From the Constitution or the Melanin Recessive Inbred Mutant Albino with a calcified Hardened Pineal Gland has no apt to tap into their spirituality. You listen to that media and you don't even tap into who the fuck you are. Can you overcome all the bullshit? I, as Brother R.A., a media professional, yep, I made reference to last week's show being Reverend Richard. All I had to do was give my initial sermon and have it be accepted by the ministers. So, Reverend Richard, I studied the Bible, and I did read where God said to Noah, I am that I am. Now, after reading so much of that bullshit in the Bible, I wanted to follow the path of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I wanted to follow that particular path. So in 1980, I chose to go to Morehouse, the same school Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. went to. And I survived living in the dormitory. I don't know where the money came from, but I got to stay in Thurman Hall, a Morehouse campus in Atlanta, Georgia. And living in and had Virgil Brown as my roommate. I don't think if I wasn't high, I wouldn't remember this shit. But I'm high, so I'm feeling the memories going. I'm tapping in. And so Virgil Brown, my roommate, living in a little box of a room, because you know the size of college dorms and whatnot, it's just a little box of a room. And he and I, and I was, my slave name, and I'm gonna become a minister, and I'm studying religious studies at Morehouse College. Little Richie. And then, wow, couldn't afford to stay on Morehouse College campus. I ain't had the money to pay for the dorm. Nah. Didn't have the money to pay for the dorm. I was happy to have spent that first year on Morehouse College campus, but I stayed in school for another semester or so. This is, like I said, 1981. I'm remembering it. I moved on the other side of Atlanta. Moved on the other side of Atlanta in the more ghetto part of town. David Doughton and I. He went to Clark. And I was at Morehouse. I was thinking about pledging. I was so impressed with them Omega Psi-Phis doing that nonsense, and as they did their little step and stamp and stamp. I mean, you know how fraternities do. I don't know if all y'all know, having not gone to a black college, but the fraternities, the line would always do a step dance and shit, and them shits was hot, and the Omegas was bad. Omega Psi-Phi. Brother, I already wanted to be a black Greek. That's an oxymoron for those of y'all that don't understand. You know, I deal in the denotative level, the connotative level, and the abstract level of my conversation. So I try to use in my, like even in my sermon and in my speech, try to give you a little more oomph to understand what I'm saying. So you feel it, not just hear it, but you feel it. I'm a black man, but back to on campus, the Omegas I wanted to pledge, but then couldn't stay on campus, had to move on the other side of town. We lived in a dump. I mean, it was alright, you know, it was a roof, shit. I think we stayed on the second floor too. Wrought iron gate open, climbed the stairs to the second floor apartment, and wow, living on that side of town, and I didn't have money to take the transport, so I had to walk or ride my bike. I mostly walked because I don't think I was into big bike riding back then, but walk up Ashby Street, long ass street, get into Atlanta downtown and get on the other side of town where Morehouse College was. And I'm the little square kid. Hold on, let me show you. I gotta show you. It's on the Facebook page. This is me. Hold on, I'm sorry, this is in here. The parents. This is me. Look at that little, I'm like, look at those thighs. The size of my thighs haven't changed. Little pudgy little boy. My mother. Mommy transitioned 4 months after Daddy. She said I wasn't gonna live my life without my husband. That's how I interpret it. She died, Daddy died in December. Mommy died in March. Like, whoa. Yeah, something else. But I mean, me and my conspiracy theory, sitting next to that microwave, and then her smoking them Camel cigarettes, you talk about the no-filtered smoke Camels. I don't like smoking. You know, I took that one hit. I'm not, Smoke is not for the brother. I take my hit, get that shit all through my lungs, fuck my head up and shit. But I ain't doing that tar, nicotine, ate away at mommy. Mommy was already a thin, frail. And, yeah, me and my conspiracy theories. I just think this way and that way. But I mean, here. A 1,500-year-old tree. Me, a black man, thinking on the levels of miseducation I have endured as a media professional to see how certain messages are conveyed to cause psychological enslavement. Become addicted to this or that. So, mommy was addicted to them Camel cigarettes. Like I said, I wonder about today's technology, digital this and digital that. Microwave now. What am I operating on? Melanin Dominant with the liquid fluid pineal gland. I'm tapping into the frequency of the sun. The S-U-N, not the S-O-N, but the S-U-N. The frequency of the sun, because I'm melanin dominant. Being a child of the sun, I can absorb the sun's rays. Now, if you have a calcified pineal gland, how would you know how it fucks you up? Because your shit is hard like a rock, because your parents, black people, inbred. Yeah. Inbreeding. Black man had to get him some. Whether it's a cold, dark, overcast environment or not. Whether it's family or not. So, the microwaves, did it have an impact on the death of my mother, who sat next to that microwave smoking her addictive habit of Camels? Showed you the baby picture. Went to my mother. Now, living in the dorm, still with Dave Dotton. On the other side of campus. On the other side of town, in the ghetto. Where black folks didn't have too much. And you saw that little boy, and I mean, there's pictures of me wearing a bow tie in a sky blue baby suit. And you can still see my diaper. And I'm raised by, Alvita and Christine, Alvita, my grandmother, Christine, my mother, my father's mother, Alice, Grammy. And the way mommy and daddy, Nana had, she left Spartanburg, South Carolina, go work in the shipyards in Maine. She got married to George. And George must have been from around here somewhere. And Nana, she took care of Christine and Richard. My parents took care of them, oversaw, managed, maintained. Now I'm this little boy with the bow tie, and everything's peachy keen and hunky dory, and oh wow, wow. And now I'm down at Morehouse College. I'm growing up. I'm 18, I'm 19. Wow. I'm learning life. I'm trying to figure things out. Growing up, watching them, Mary Tyler Moore and Dick Van Dyke and Lever the Beaver and Ward and June. Media professional, how was I psychologically fucked up? Did my parents know? They were just following. Did my grandmother know? Nana was just trying to get from picking cotton in the field. She didn't like picking cotton. She'd rather work in the shipyards in Maine than pick the cotton. Now who am I? No, I don't use my slave name. I buck the system. I say fuck the system. Fuck a melanin recessive inbred mutant albino with a calcified pineal gland. Tell me what I can and what I can't do. Encapsule, enclose, circle off, contain my brain. Me? Alveda Patterson's grandson? Nana was born February 11th. I was born February 17th. Guess there's a lot of fucking going around May. May to February is 9 months, so. My Nana bucked the system. Didn't want to pick the cotton. But she stayed within the boundaries. But she pushed me to be a minister. I wanted to be reverend. I wanted to follow the path of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I think I'm doing good. Told you I was living on the ghetto side of town in Morehouse. And I'm 18, 19, 20 years old. Like I said, I had to go from Morehouse all the way to the other side of town, down Ashby Street, whatever. I'll never forget this, I don't know, but shit. This is blatant. Some of y'all may want to change the channel. But Reverend Richie, I'm walking down Ashby Street in front of this big one of them churches or something. Woman comes up to me and says, "Hey, I suck your dick for $10. I'm like, no, that's okay. And I kept walking. 10 steps later, I'm like, damn, got my dick sucked for $10? Oh, shit. I almost went. I said, no. So, go down, get to the house. This is all Atlanta experience growing up. Sophomore year of college, 1981. 1982. Then I didn't have, I can't remember now if I stayed in Atlanta. I think I did come back to Boston. I came back to Cambridge and tried to survive that way. And I didn't like Cambridge too much. I wanted to be around more. After being in Atlanta, shoot, Atlanta was a predominantly black city. I'm like, whoa, a whole black city. After coming from Harvard, MIT, Cambridge, lily white motherfucking land. Oh, it snows a bitch. What is it, winter 78? Oh my God. Snow in New England up here gets cold as shit. Nah, Atlanta was the place for this motherfucker. Atlanta was dope. It didn't get that cold, and there's in a predominantly black city. Little Richie in an all black city. Started reading more, leaving the religious stuff alone. After I read the I am, God says to Noah, I am that I am. For some reason that sunk in. Because God says I am that I am, and I'm God the way I think now with my liquid fluid pineal gland. I am that I am. So what I think matters. Fuck that Black Lives Matter. What I think matters as a media professional. Are you keeping up? I'm all over the place. But this is Brother already in this state of mind. I'm sharing a level of consciousness to jerk your fucking ass up. Do something with your goddamn life. George Clinton from 1980 said, think. It's not illegal yet. Are you capable of thinking? I want to, going back to living on the second floor, 139, Putnam Ave. Seeing Mommy in that microwave and thinking about me and my sister. I have a sister 5 years younger than me. Imani. But, the whole world revolved around me, Little Richie, for the first 5 years. I got all the focus and all the attention. Then I had a sister that was born. That's even hard to say. It hurts coming out. She took it. She got her own room. She had a closet for a room. I mean, talking about them dorms and shit. But I got a room behind the front door. You open the door and there was red beads. It's the 70s, and the beads was coming down. The door open and my bed's here. It's like I didn't have no privacy. This was my room, the little closet, and after you open the door and close the door, you could see my room and everything that I did in my room, and then right there was the front room. So, to get in and out the house, go up the stairs, open the door, there's my room right there behind the door. Go in through the front room, walk in through the bedroom, That's the master bedroom. Mommy and Daddy didn't have no privacy either. They walked through the front room, through the master bedroom. Had to go by Mommy's big double-sized bed. Then Tina had the closet room. Oops, I'm sorry. That's I think, isn't she PhD Miss Imani? She jumped through all the hoops, did all she had to do. Yeah, so coming around the bed, and then there's the closet, Tina's room. And then you go on into the kitchen, and here's the door for the bathroom. The bathroom was there, and then here's the kitchen, and there's Mommy sitting with her knees up like you saw, and the microwave, and the refrigerator behind her. Oh, and they tell me I'm pre-diabetic, and there was the sweet closet, where across from where Mommy was is the sweets closet. I always had, it's very uniform in eating my sugar. I need my 2 donuts, my 2 Oreo cookies, my 2 vanilla. So I was a little, I kept my chubby. I kept my chubby. We sit at the round, or it was round sometimes, and then they changed it to the octagon shape or whatever. But I would sit here, Tina would sit here, Daddy would sit there, and Mommy was up in the corner, cringed in between the microwave and Daddy. Just going back into my childhood, remembering who I am, what I am, and why I am the way I am. Doctor, nurse. I called the doctor. Nurse returned my call, and it was rather threatening. Well, Mr. R.A., you are pre-diabetic, and you need to push away from the sweets. She actually said this. This is a line from my show. She said, and I knew it was a sister. She said, you know, anything white for you is no good. Sugar, flour, salt, inbred mutant albino with a calcified pineal gland. Damn, this is a great show. I'm fucked up, but the shit that's coming out, the way the shit's rolling out, this is a great fucking movie. But yeah, thinking about me being pre-diabetic, 55, single, never married, no kids. How difficult of an individual am I to deal with? With that rearing and upbringing. I left Atlanta, got back to Boston. Then I was with this fine Brookline honey. Shelley. She dealt with me. And I think we moved back down to Alexandria, Virginia. Was just over the bridge. I like living near the bridge. You know, Cambridge, Boston. So Alexandria was just outside of the city of D.C., Washington, D.C. Like being near the water. I like a city with water. Yeah. But, so lived in Alexandria. And Shelly and I, we didn't survive too long. That's where I learned of Jim Granger and Anthony Browder, living in D.C., going from Atlanta, country down south, yeah, PH or F, not TH, but PH or F, down south. And got to DC, Melanin Dominant, Black Men, Consciousness. Jim Granger wrote A Black Man's Bible. And that's the book that changed my life. Talking about raising our self-esteem of who we are as melanin dominant black people. He was a very fair-skinned brother, but he had the melanin consciousness. But living in DC definitely changed who I am and how I think and how I live and how I believe. And why is it a sin or a crime to believe in me? Why is it a sin for you to look at yourself in the mirror and say, wow, I'm divine? Me and my mind, we are so kind. We are liquid, pineal gland, balanced and level like water. Water's never tilted. It may slant, but it's always level to the surface of Earth. Liquid pineal gland, calcified, hardened pineal gland, stepping into the divinity of who you are, understanding what it means to be a child of the sun. The S-U-N, the U, the shape of the U opens up out to the universe. Is it a coincidence that all those words are you? You, the universe, the opening, not being closed in, calcified, contained? Get 7 minutes left. I'll leave that alone. I'll let the story. I got to DC, and that's when life changed for me. This is who I am, and this is why I am the way I am. But let's jump back to this. There's so much Brother R.A. has to say each and every day. Major issue. Boston takes a knee for justice. Rally in March. This was supposed to happen on October 29th. Mass action against police brutality. A knee for justice. Thought this was a video. Well, if the Earth is 4 billion years old, how can it be the year 2017? I mean, how contained is your thought? How copulated in your brain are you? Alright, so that was last week's show. Pumping up last week's show. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, yeah, I wanted to get to this. Colin Kaepernick is taking legal action against the NFL. Kaepernick may have a good case, as there have been owners who have publicly spoken on the matter and said that they would not hire him. Like John Mara of the New York Giants, while Denver Broncos reportedly would not pursue him under any circumstances. Take a knee, police brutality, and who are we? And what town and what time do we survive in? Alright, let's see if we can bring this up real quick. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Bring the sound up. Come on. Don't you do this to me. Alright, doesn't look like it's loaded, or it's gonna take too long to load. Alright, let's see if I restart this page. I don't think that's gonna help. Wasting my time. Time is valuable. Let's move on.
In this video, tunacheki present the top 10 traditional African dances.
This looks like the Black Greek fraternity.
At number 10, we have the Agbadza dance. Agbadza is among the oldest musical types performed by the southern area of Ghana, Togo, Benin, and parts of southwestern Nigeria. Agbadza is derived from an older war dance known as Atrikpui. At number 9, we have the Mogola dance. Mogola dance originates from the Baganda tribe of Uganda and is performed by both men and women.
Melanin Dominant. Rhythm. Liquid fluid pineal.
And at number
gland.
8, we have the Chakacha dance. Chakacha is a traditional music and dance style of the Swahili people of coastal Kenya and Tanzania. It is originally associated with weddings, and it's usually performed and watched by women. And number 7 is the Pat-Pat dance. The Pat-Pat dance is the traditional dance of the Jola people of Senegal. It involves rhythmically patting the body and fast leg movements. And number 6, we have the Eskista dance. Eskista is a traditional Ethiopian dance performed by both men and women that is known for its unique emphasis on intense shoulder movement. The dance is characterized by rolling of the shoulder blades, bouncing the shoulders, and jilting the chest. Eskista is typically performed to traditional Ethiopian music, but can often be incorporated into modern forms of music. And number 5, Aduma dance. This Maasai dance is performed by the men who leap into the air to show their strength and stamina as tribal warriors.
This is so beautiful. Why is my story being kept from me?
At number 4, we have the Indlamu dance. Indlamu is a traditional Zulu dance from South Africa where the dancer lifts one foot over his head and brings it down hard, landing squarely on the downbeat. Typically, two dancers in warriors belts perform Indlamu routines together, shadowing each other's moves perfectly. Also often referred to as a Zulu war dance, and is often performed at weddings. And number 3, we have the Umushagiriro or Umushayawe dance of women from Rwanda. The dance of women is more gentle, graceful, and unusual in Africa. Its strength is the graceful movements, and it highlights kindness, goodness, purity, and the radiant beauty of what many consider as Africa's most beautiful women. At number 2, we have the Adowa dance. Adowa is by far the most widespread and frequently performed social dance of the Akan people of Ghana. The Akan are located in Ashanti, Brong Ahafo, Eastern, Central, and parts of the Volta regions of Ghana. It is best described in Akan musical traditions as a women's dance because they dominate the performance.
Okay, I got about 5 seconds left. Thank y'all for tuning in to Brother RA and what I had to say today. And we'll continue, and hopefully I'll put this on YouTube.